Hello and welcome to this short breathwork practice. In today's session, we're going to be exploring a connection to our diaphragmatic breath. So before we begin practice, what I'd like to encourage is that you spend a little bit of time finding a really comfortable seated posture. And for this practice, I would recommend against sitting cross-legged unless you have incredibly open hips. And even if you do, maybe just propping yourself up on a brick or a kind of low cushion might also be supportive. I really like to sit straddling a bolster. You could also kind of have cushions, or you could roll up a duvet or some blankets. And what I'd like to offer is a seated posture which really allows the front of the body to feel really open and spacious. So it might be, even if you're on a bolster, you need to pop a brick underneath. And the reason why I like this space is it's creating this space is to not only create space for the diaphragm to really move and kind of expand and contract really naturally and beautifully, but also the higher we are, often the less tension we hold in our legs, the less tension we hold in our thighs and in our hips. So you can just kind of play around with the height and just feel like, I know at this height I absolutely feel incredibly soft here. I can just touch and feel that there's no gripping. The lower I come to the floor, the more I sense that kind of tightness, a little bit of a need to grip. So come to a position which you feel most comfortable, most at ease, and most supported. You obviously don't want to find anything that's kind of rocky. You want to feel really grounded and rooted. For this practice, I'm going to come down though, just a little bit lower. I feel pretty comfortable here. You can sometimes just give your thighs a little bit of a wiggle just to make sure they're soft. If you're choosing to sit on a chair and practice seated, that's fantastic too, or a stool. Again, just really trying to find a position. So you might need to raise yourself up with cushions. Find a position where maybe your legs are a bit of a right angle. They're not kind of pointing down and they're not lifted too much upwards, just so you're nice and relaxed. So wherever you are, just begin to build a bit of connection into your sit bones and kind of maybe just rock back and forth a little bit on your sit bones and just feel yourself connected to the seat beneath you. Really sensing into the sense of connection, rooting, and a bit of stability. And before we begin, really kind of with a focused, concentrated practice into the diaphragm, we're just going to spend just a few moments just exploring our breath, just tuning in and becoming a little bit more aware of how our breath is feeling today. So start to find a little bit of stillness if you're moving. And we're just going to first explore how we can create a beautiful upright posture, again, just to really allow the breath to feel soft, to feel natural, to feel at ease. So just beginning to consider how your spine is positioned in relation to the rest of your body, in relation to space. Can you sense any shifting in one direction or the other? And rather than kind of forcing, but can you kind of gently guide yourself into a posture where you feel like your shoulders are stacked directly on top of your hips? Often that means we need to just lift the chin a little bit or tuck it in, depending on what your head posture is. But just finding that position. Also maybe thinking about ears. So ears, shoulder, ribs, hip connection. You're not kind of swaying too far forwards and creating that anterior pelvic tilt, and you're not leaning too far backwards with a kind of flexed spine. So if you haven't already, and it feels comfortable for you, just close down your eyes. Allow the muscles of your face to soften. Allow your jaw to soften, your shoulders to relax, release. And then invite your chest to feel open, at ease. Relax your belly a little bit and draw your attention down into your pelvis, into your hips, and just relax and find ease there. If you're able to, we're going to be breathing in and out through the nose. If for any reason you can't adopt a nostril breath, just try and allow the breath through the mouth to be as soft and easeful as possible. And begin to just notice your breath. Begin to notice how it feels, where you feel it. Begin to offer your attention without any sense of judgment or wishing it was any other way. Just see if you can be with your breath. Maybe you are experiencing sensations just outside your nostrils. Maybe you feel your chest rising and falling. Maybe you feel your belly rising and falling. Just tune in, and with every moment you are connecting to your breath, just allow whatever is happening in the outside world or in the space around you just to softly blur away. Just be here for a few moments, just in the practice of awareness, of becoming more tuned in to how your breath feels in this very moment. Now, on your next natural exhale, can you imagine the breath helping your body to ease and sit deeper into the seat beneath you? And as you inhale, can you imagine there being this kind of natural rebound of energy lifting you up through your spine, through the crown of your head? And we keep breathing like that, so we just allow the breath to sink the energy down, so we can feel the sense of rooting, the sense of stabilization. And as the breath reaches the bottom of the exhale, we allow this gentle rebound to ripple up the spine, up all the way through the top crown of our head. And just follow the awareness of your breath. Allow the breath to guide this sensation. And just notice as you breathe what's happening to the movement of your spine. It might be incredibly subtle, you might not feel anything at all, and that's fine. Some of you may be experiencing the sense that as the breath is rebounding on your inhale, you're noticing the natural curves of your spine, and you're feeling like there's a sense of lift out of your pelvis. Over time, what I like to think about experiencing is a sense of lightness in my upper body, whilst I feel confident and rooted in my legs and the lower part of my body, pelvis down. Just explore that for a couple more breaths. We're going to start to slowly move into kind of an experience of exploring our diaphragmatic breath. So just very gently bring the palms of your hands onto your lower ribs. Allow your fingers to be spread open and just allow them just to rest there gently. If you can do this with your shoulders relaxed, then perfect. If you find that challenging, that you can always try placing the backs of your fingers on your wrists, if that position allows your shoulders to remain soft and free of tension. Choose whichever posture, whichever position really allows you to maintain this kind of softening in the neck and shoulders. And begin to focus your awareness, focus your attention on the connection you feel between your ribs and your hand. Notice what movement you might feel. Notice if just by the presence of your hands and the presence of touch, you feel the breath expressing itself more in this area of the body. If not, that's fine. And just be there for a couple of breaths, nice, soft, slow, breathing in and out of the nose. And now start to consider or think about breathing into your hands. So really allowing your focus, your attention to direct your breath gently, not forcefully, into your hands, whether that be the palm of your hands or the backs of your fingers. Make sure your hands are free of tension. See if you can experience a change in movement or maybe a deeper expression of your ribs expanding as you inhale, contracting as you exhale. So maybe you feel them expanding out and open and pressing into your hand as you inhale, and gently retreating back as you exhale. Inhale, breathing into your hands. Exhale, allowing the ribs to softly return. And if you're feeling any tension or any constriction in your shoulders, you can bring your hands down to your legs or keep them where you are, wherever feels most comfortable. Just maintaining that connection between your intention and the breath. Allowing the breath to guide and open the ribs. As you inhale and as you exhale, allow it to soften back. And if your fingertips are still there, you can imagine your fingertips mirroring your rib bones. Each rib slightly opening, expanding as you inhale, and as you exhale, they slightly start to begin to return back together. Well, not quite together, but close. Notice how your breath feels when you're bringing this kind of focused attention, intention into this area of your body. And we're really paying attention to allowing the ribs to expand and releasing any tension that sometimes we hold there. We're really allowing the diaphragm to move, to be free. So on the inhale, the diaphragm gently drops down. And as we exhale, it lifts back up, close to the lungs, close to the heart. So as we inhale and create space, we create space for the diaphragm to just kind of stretch down. Create space for the lungs, allow the lungs to fill with more air. And as we exhale, they gently lift back up and allow us to press out all of the air that we no longer need. And then begin the cycle again, like a recharging cycle with each soft, gentle breath. But we're really directing the breath deep. We're directing the breath deep into the base of the lungs, directing the breath into the diaphragm. This is a gentle, deep breath. It's not us pulling and sucking and trying to kind of blow out the body. there is a kind of a subtle quality of breath that also allows it to be deep and expansive. So see if you can just feel that for a few more breaths. If your hands are on your legs now, perhaps as you inhale, you can also feel kind of more of your side body kind of connecting with your arms as you breathe in. So the more we're creating space and allowing the lower ribs to open, the more we allow the rest of the torso to open, the rest of the ribs to expand. Eventually, till we can practice a 360-degree breath. Now you're welcome to continue to practice this breath until you feel like you've developed the connection you want to develop today. Otherwise, we're going to slowly ease ourselves out and just allow your focus just to loosen its attention on that area of your body, on your ribs. Just allow yourself just to breathe naturally, freely as you would during your day. Over time, this becomes our natural breath pattern. But it does take time, it takes attention, it takes awareness, it takes practice. So when you're ready, just invite a little bit of movement into your fingers, into your toes. Maybe just shift yourself from side to side on your seat, maybe rocking back and forwards. Allow your breath to be free. Maybe that you feel like you want to take a kind of a deeper, bigger exhale, inhale or exhale. You do what feels good. And if you haven't already, you can slowly open your eyes. So if you found the part of practice where we were connecting to the ribs and feeling the ribs expand, open and towards the hands, if you found that at all challenging, then I have recorded a diaphragmatic breath conditioning video, which I will link in the description below. So that might be helpful for you to begin there or to go back to that if you're ever finding it more challenging to connect to this part of your body or feel that expansiveness. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me in practice today. I wish you a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful, open, expansive, easeful breathing. Thank you.